Hi, everybody. This is Delina from Woke Homeschooling, and I want to introduce you to, I don't know, is it showing up on this side or this? Okay. I want to introduce you.
That's good.
I want to introduce you to Njoki, Miss Njoki, because that's what we're going to call her in class. She is the instructor for a whole new world history live classes. Mm-hmm. So I am so excited about that. And I just wanted to come here, introduce y'all. At the end, I will give you a tour of the portal, what class looks like, what you can expect. Registration ends today, Wednesday, August 31st, 2022. So we just want to get this information out to as many people as possible so that you don't miss out on this class. Now, Njoki.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about you.
Okay. How much time do you have?
A little bit about you.
A little bit.
There's a big bio on the website, but tell us what's not on the bio. Tell us the juicy stuff.
Juicy. Okay, so I was born in Nairobi, Kenya. I lived in Kenya until I was 25, maybe.
Yesterday.
So most of it just yesterday.
Yes.
Right? I've been here just a couple of years. I shouldn't have said that because now people can calculate. But
I know that's what I'm saying.
So I grew up in Kenya, and I live in Texas now. I have two daughters, a 9-year-old, a 6-year-old. My husband and I have called Texas home for many years. I'm kind of a jack of all trades. I've done some teaching. I've done some project management work, a lot of nonprofit work.
Let me interrupt you because something in your bio that I haven't asked you about, but I think it's so applicable to this class. Mm-hmm. You have a lot of experience with conflict resolution.
So when I got done with grad school, I worked with a nonprofit organization that does leadership training, peace building, and conflict resolution in Eastern Central Africa. So I developed curriculum and took a couple of teams down to 2 countries, and we had like groups of people from Rwanda, Burundi, Sudan, Uganda, Kenya. And mostly women, and we trained them for 2 weeks at a time, and we did these intensive workshops in understanding conflict, understanding the dynamics of conflict, what are the different sort of peace building strategies that are available to them, and that sort of thing. So it was very was life-changing for me.
Maybe you can point out the different missed opportunities for peace building and conflict resolution and all of these key points in world history.
Yes. And I think what's been interesting, even now, sort of looking through this curriculum and thinking through it, has been how, for me, growing up, the way we studied history, because obviously I grew up in a country that was a British colony up until like 1963. We're a young democracy by relative standards. And, you know, so we learned a lot, you know, obviously I think just the pride of the country, learned a lot about, you know, the African struggle for independence and, you know, our local heroes and all of that. But I think that learning history from the perspective of a colonized country that just recently went through that process. I mean, my parents are still kind of, you know, grew up during colonial period and went through, you know, the camps and all of the different things that they experienced. I think it's been interesting to see what the perspective of history is coming here, seeing what, you know, what kids are learning in school, and just realizing the divide between what it means to learn a history that centers the experiences of a region versus a history that talks about a region without centering what their experiences were, without centering their just their way of being, their history, their story, who they are, what makes them, different and unique and strong. And I think one of the things that I've been, even having, worked in conflict resolution, worked with these women, has been just the beauty of being able to sit in spaces and experience what it is like when people have the opportunity to center their stories, center their, really focus on who are we, where are we from, where are we coming from, what are we bringing to the table, how can we move forward, and realizing that it's really it's an important process, because you can't do that if you don't have those opportunities to be honest about your story, to be honest about where you're coming from. And so it kind of ruminates, is that the word? It ruminates in my mind. It's been a common thread since then, even after I left the organization. It's something that really has stayed with me. Just our story. How are we who we are,
Yeah. and it's an important skill for middle school students for perspective taking, right? It's something that we all have to. Sometimes kids can know it intuitively, but there are not a lot of places where you're doing it on purpose. So yes, that's what are you looking forward to in live class?
I'm looking forward to hearing what they're processing as they are learning these things, because I think my kids are young, they're not middle schoolers yet, but even in conversations that I have with my kids about, events that go on around them and things that they're hearing and things that they're seeing, it's just the perspective of, I feel like we grow up and something about the way we interact with the world jades us and makes it difficult for us to really critically think through things, really analyze them, really sort of see things as they are. And I think that there is such a beauty in the way young people are able to do that. And so I'm really looking forward to the opportunity to sit with them and engage them in those conversations. What are the things that you're learning that are making you think? What are they making you think about? What are the things that you've studied that have stood out to you? What is something that you've learned that has challenged you? What are things that are informing how you're seeing the world, how you're investigating your own perspectives on your life and the people around you, and places you've heard about and places you've seen and watched movies about? And what are you thinking about as you learn this, as you learn the backstory, as you learn, the foundations of where we're coming from, and I think also the beauty of seeing our interconnectedness, because the beauty of world history is you see the different threads, right? And they all kind of come to, and it looks like that. I don't know if you've seen that meme of the guy with the different posters on the board and red string and trying to connect the dots. It's really funny, but I feel like there's all these common threads, that I think are just a beautiful way of reminding us helping us to rightly locate ourselves.
Yeah.
As we study what it looks like for other people's stories to be centered and other people's stories to be told. So I think there's something really beautiful about that. So just that experience of helping them think through those things and listening to them process and learn from each other,
It's going to be great. It's going to be great. My kids aren't taking it this year because they're done with the curriculum, but
I'm sad.
I just the things that they have been able to take away from them. So even if they're not in the class, I can still see the effects of the class in our conversations and just how they view the news, how it's like they have a place in their head for for certain places, for certain countries,
they have a context almost, right? Yes, it helps.
That's the word. It's not almost. Yes. That's the word. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. So I think I've asked you all the questions I wanted to ask you.
Oh, okay.
So it's easy. So let me tell y'all more about the class. The live class meets once a week on Fridays. There's a 10 o'clock class still open for year 2. There is 10 o'clock, 10 a.m. Central. There is a noon class for year 2 that is still has a few little spots left, a seat for you. Yes, your child. You don't have to start off with year 1. You can start off with year 2 if you want. We just named it that so we could keep track of it because it is 2 years. We do 3 continents in 1 year, 3 continents in another year, but you can jump in at any time in any of those continents. For live class students, there are bonuses. So you can take this as a self-paced option, but right now we're telling you about the live class. So the live class has a book club. I have my book club shirt on. It has a book club that for every continent, there's a book that's historical fiction that helps students really see these historical events through the eyes of children their age. The books that have been chosen by our book club facilitator, they are awesome. They are awesome. And you don't have to pay extra for that. That's included. But you do have to, we have a process of signing up so we know how many people are showing up. And there's also a world music class. So we take a break from the usual world history schedule and we take a minute to a week to study music, study instruments, study just the way things sound differently around the world. And then there's a live class for that music class too. So it's a really rich curriculum. There's enough here for everybody to find what they love. Some people love geography. Some people love, watching the videos and really being able to see what they're reading about, what they're learning about. There's something here for everybody. So I hope that your middle schooler, ages 11 to 14, can really jump in and dive into this curriculum. And as I said at the end in like 2 seconds, I'll take you through a tour of the portal so you can see it. Registration is closing today, Wednesday, August 31st at midnight, Central Standard Time or Central Time, Texas time.
Texas time.
It's going to be closing. And you will get access to the first 4 weeks on September 1st. The monthly fee is $60 a month. And this is not the only time that you're going to see Njoki if you're a parent, because we do have parent meetings and you can just come and you can, get ideas of how to implement the curriculum, or just if you just want to touch base and say, my child is having trouble with this, or can we do more of this, or whatever you want to bring for the parent meetings. We are always happy to talk and connect with the people whose children I don't even get to see the children, but it's nice to connect in person. So we have those meetings on a regular basis. So I am so excited to have you on board, and it's going to be great. I feel really good about this. And I just want to invite everybody who has a child in middle school, if you have 3 kids in middle school, like I did at one point, they're all welcome. They're all welcome.
You.
Yes. All right. Thank you. Hi, let me give you a little tour of the World History portal. So first you would go to Woke School Online and you log in. And let's just try Asia for an example. Asia is the 3rd unit of year 1. And let's just go to week 4. You would click on the week. Right here is the video, the intro video that you will watch. It's posted on Mondays.
Islam is the Prophet
Here's an
Muhammad.
example.
War in which they actually
Video.
they direct.
And then there's an assignment for every day of the week. So the first thing you do is watch the lecture video, like I just mentioned, but you also have geography assignments. On Tuesday, you'll watch a video here, a slideshow. This is an article. And on Friday, you meet with your live class and you will discuss the discussion questions. So you will be able to have answer these questions in community. You will be able to hear other answers from other students. And you will be guided through these discussions by a facilitator. And in this portal, you can also go in and ask questions for your facilitator, or you can interact with other students. And everything is provided for you week by week to study all the continents.